So for this video, guys, we're going to look at Safety Blitz 3 flipped again, and we're going to give you kind of a base cover to invert type look coverage with the possibility of blitzing. If we like the running back on the left-hand side, if he's there, we're going to send the blitz. If he's not there, or if they're in a different type of formation that we feel that is going to be a little bit harder to get the blitz in on, then we're going to turn this into just all type of coverages. We're going to kind of go over a couple different popular formations and how we would set our coverage against it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the blitz first. And what you're going to do here is you're just going to base a line, pinch your defensive line, and crash them up, okay? So that's how it's going to look. Then what we're going to do is set up our coverage. So the first thing I do is I go underneath coverage by pressing Y, then down, and then Y, then up on the right sticks is what you're doing. And then you're doing the inverted coverage by pressing YYB, right stick right, YYX, right stick right. Okay, so now everybody's in the coverage that we want. As you can see, we've got two blitzing safeties that we still have at our disposal here. I'm just going to block the running back on the left. And the easiest way to do this is depending on what your personnel is, okay? If your strong safety has a lot of speed like I do in Mutt, I don't have to man up the player on the left. I can just hold the left trigger, and what ends up happening is he'll get in because I can hold that guy there, and that guy will get to that quarterback, okay? So what you'll see is if you look at the player I did, all I did was hold the left trigger. I kind of faked blitz that I'm coming in. Once I get to that point, I'm going to peel off once I see he passes that player. So now I'm going to go peel off here, and I'm going to go cover my guy, okay? You can see that once he gets in, he's good to go. If your player is not fast enough, or if you're having a hard time with that, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take that player and man him up on the RB. That's going to be the little bit more consistent way of doing it, especially if you don't have the speed, but you stay there, stay there, stay there, then you go ahead and you cover. Okay, so that's the blitz behind it if they have a player blocking on the left. Now, let's say they don't have a player on the left, maybe they're doing it right. This will not come in if they're blocking the player on the right. I want to make sure you know that. So I know that I'm going to go to a different look, right? So in instance here, we're going to do the same thing. And remember, we've got two extra players here. So we've got pretty good coverage everywhere. You want to make sure that you have somebody that's you're using in the middle of the field. So that's going to be one of the safeties. The other safety, you have the opportunity of being able to double up. What I mean by that is, in this instance, you've got two players to the right. You can have a flood concept to the right. If they're doing something like that where they're trying to go high-low, you can put this player on a curl flat. Say you go like this where you do underneath coverage and you do curl flat. And you're doubling up the right side, and you're using this player in the middle of the field to help you out. So basically, you're saying, I'm taking away the right side of the field, the middle. I'm going to cover all the spot in the middle of the field and basically user it, right? So that's one instance. Definitely, I would do that if you're on the left side of the field for sure, because of the fact that people are going to go to the wide side of the field with it. Now, if we're in any other type of formation, let's say something to where they're in, let's see, let's go to trips flex, like a PA shot crossers look, right? And they're going to the wide side of the field. You can see one that the running back's on the right, so we're going to abort the blitz, and we're going to be the baseline pinch, crash up, right? And whenever I abort the blitz, I like to quarterback contain just to make sure that I keep the quarterback in the pocket, right? And so I know that I'm aborting this, but I'm still going to go underneath over the top, and I'm going to set up my defense the way it is with the inverted coverage, right? Now, I got these extra guys. So in this instance, you know that you've got the ability to, cover to the wide side of the field. What's great about having these safeties down, we can cross man. We can cross man this guy on the B. We can cross man this guy on the Y, or whatever the case is. We can definitely do that cross manning if we want. If we want to do that type of cross man, by all means, we can also use this player as our user. Check to see if there's anything going to the left. If not, we can follow the players to the right. So in a PA crossers type situation, you know that they are going to most likely not have anybody go to the left-hand side of the field. You can go ahead and do this, follow these guys up the field, and you can see that you just basically got everybody blanketed, right? Now, obviously, with this, you are leaving a little bit of a quarterback ability to run. So you definitely have that, you could put a quarterback spy on the field if you want. In that sense, what that would look like is, and let me just get this PA crossers out again. And I just want to kind of go over kind of some of the stuff that you can do with this defense as a base defense, right? So, so say something like this, where now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do, they got the baseline already, I got the pinch already, I got the crash ready, right? So now I'm just doing my inverted coverage and got everybody where they're supposed to be. I see that it looks like it could be PA crossers, and I'm just going to do the cross man with that player. So I do the cross man with that player. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these guys here and I'm going to put them in a quarterback spot, right? So do something like this to where you don't need that player. You can just go ahead and, you know, do the same thing. And that's going to give you that opportunity to really do well with this. So I'll do this here. Looking out here, anybody in the flat? No, I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to wait. And then I'm going to send my blitz, right? So that type deal, you know, you can come back and whatever the case is. But it's a really nice opportunity to kind of read different things and kind of react that way. Now, if they're in any type of other sets, let's like a gun bunch, right? A gun bunch is one of those tough ones to where they can flood the right of the side of the screen. They can do anything where it's, you know, up middle, you know, kind of do any streak, post, drag combinations. But say we don't want to send the blitz, right? Because a lot of times, I mean, we can send the blitz, the guys on the left-hand side, but a lot of times what they're doing is going to block their tight end as well. So if we think that they're going to, we can't get the blitz in for some reason, right? We're going to do the same thing here where we're setting up our D, and it's going to look like this to start off with. Now, what I would do in this sense is I would definitely go and leave the hard flats out there. I would do a flood concept to where I'm going to put this guy on a curl flat. So right now what I'm doing is I'm making sure that anything that's flooding to the right is stopped. Anything that's drags is going to go from left to right, or right to left. That hard flat's going to be there. So I'm going to move this guy up. And the reason why I want to do that is if there's any short post, I want him to have a better shot of stopping it, plus of any type of seams. And then on this player is the guy that I'm just going to basically user, okay? And what I'm looking for is take away the drag, react to the post, right? That's kind of the way you want to do it that way. If you want to cross man, by all means, you can cross man if you think that guy's the post. If you think this guy's the post, you can cross man this way. Now you've got double cross men, and you can say, you know what? Because I got those cross guys, all I've got to worry about is RB or A on a seam, and I can take that away with this player, right? There's a lot that you can do with this and really have some fun with it. Because of the way that you got those guys in the box, you can do a lot of cross manning and kind of change it up. So that's why when I say I like this as a coverage D because we get these guys down, I really do. And it sets it up well because the two players that you can do the cross manning with are on blitzes. So the shell behind it is already set up for you to not use those guys in their capacity. Now, if you're doing cross men, I really don't think you need to put it in inverted coverage all the time so that you can save yourself a step in that regard, but you're going to have a lot of good opportunities. So the last thing I want to talk about is kind of split close. And I do feel like this is a good formation to kind of control it a little bit with this. And I don't have split close in the book that I'm going against, but I have split slot. So what I did was I just kind of did as much of a makeshift halfback wheel as possible. You know that the left player is going to be on his lonesome. He's going to be doing that deep post. Obviously, this is a different post. You know that's the wheel. I'm just kind of making sure that if I can make it look as much as possible so I can at least break it down for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to base the line, pinch, crash up, then we're going to proceed to get our players in that shell, right? Real quick, you can get that right out of the huddle before they even get to the line of scrimmage. As you see this is when you want to start making your adjustments. When it comes to the split close, you know that the A receiver is probably the toughest one to cover when it comes to that quick post. You know that that's there, right? So what I like to do is I try to cross man him with the safety on the right side, right? So this one right here, I'm going to cross man him. Then I know that if this guy has an opportunity to do any type of wheel, I'm going to cross man him with the, not cross man, but man him up with that player. So those are the two routes that I kind of want to do as far as making sure that I've got covered. Now, the right side of the field, you got a lot of flood concepts, or you can have a double post depending on if you're in New England, a little bit more difficult, right? Now, if you are doing a double post, that's going to be tough to cover, you know, on the right side because it's coming from the left. The reason why we like this guy here lower is because he's going to be a little bit more amped to be a little bit shorter down the field. So he'll help out with the second post, but not the first post. So the first post is really what you want to worry about more than anything. And I typically am going to use this hook curl right here, right? So you've got a couple different options over here. You see this player? This one right here is somebody that you're going to have to figure out what you want to do with. I like to leave him or put him on a curl flat, and I'll go ahead and I'll hard flat this guy. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take away the right side of the field flood, right? Hard flat the defensive end, curl flat that player out there, try to take away the ability for the skinny post to beat us and the wheel to beat us on the left-hand side. Because if the wheel on the left-hand side, if you put them on a cloud flat, they can throw it quickly. Throw it on a hard flat, they can you know, wait till he goes up the field. Putting him in man coverage isn't always going to yield you know, the best man coverage possible, but you've got a deep blue on that side. So if they try to hit him, you know, up the field, you know, a lot of times they don't have the time for that. But the second, you know, you do have the ability to at least have that extra protection over there that they've got to make like a perfect throw. So what I'm trying to do is try to give ourselves the best opportunity for success. So what I'll do with this is I'll wait for this A to come up the field like this, and I'm going to take away the initial break on it. By then, I should have the ability to have my cross man over there. Now, once I see what that is or whatever, if they're doing any type of drags to the right with that A receiver, that's going to be perfect too. We're going to go right into our favor. If we see that the A is dragging to the right, then we're going to go ahead and keep our eyes on any routes from the right to left. If there's another drag, we can jump it. But what we're really looking for is those posts. As you can see, with the hard flat, curl flat kind of taking away the right side of the field, we're leaving ourselves a little bit open for those post routes. But because we've got this player right here on the deep post, we're going to want to cover the underneath post as our main threat. So what I'm doing is if I'm looking at the A receiver, he's going to be my first guy. If he's up the field, I'm kind of knowing that if he's running the skinny post, then I know that those guys aren't running on the right side. But if that guy is running any type of drag, then I'm going to say, okay, let me change my mindset. I'm going to go underneath here, and I'm going to cover that. So I do like this as a nice, you know, solution to a split close. It does give you the ability to do cross manning, which is nice. So that's why I like this as a coverage G plus the blitz.